It's been 14 days, and I am still stuck in this fucking hole. No one has even tried to look for me, 'cause if they did, they'd probably see the hole in the ground and say, hey, maybe our friend Ty is stuck in a hole. But no, they're taking the stupid paper, passing it around like little friends, and I am stuck in this fucking hole. 12 days. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? 12 days. It's a 12 days. God, please get me out of this fucking hole. That's not what I meant. Huh? What is this place?
You're done, kid.
Who's there?
I wrote a new article. He's a big Sonic.
Oh, I hate Sonic! Go away!
Some yacht dice.
No, stop! Maybe he's gone? No! The Greek god receives significantly better loot rolls. The ruler of the underworld gains strength and haste in his home dimension. No! Hey gamers, 𝗙cie𝘂𝗿𝗶𝗴𝗶 here. Today's video is not going to be a cinematic like most of the reveal videos are. Today is just going to be a POV of me exploring all the different structures I've added. There's not going to be any shaders on either, it's just going to be using the custom resource pack. I figured I'd give you guys a chance to see just the vanilla resource pack since not all of us are going to have shaders on. I'm not going to show you all the details of all the structures, I figure I'll leave some of the exploring to you, but if you don't want any spoilers to what any of the structures are or look like, then you can feel free to click off of the video. This video is probably going to be a bit longer than usual. Most videos are made on the new seed, but this one is not, obviously because I probably shouldn't be seeing every structure on the new seed with all the loot tables in there. Also, none of these are made by me. Someone else made all of these structures. All I did was slightly tweak them and their loot tables. Most of the structures you're going to see today are not actually completely original and are remakes of other structures already in the game. With that being said, let's get started. You'll know you found a stone home village when you look in the overworld and you see one of these stone brick structures, and if you just follow it right underground, you'll actually find an underground village. We call these the stone home villages. The only main difference between the underground ones and the normal villages, instead of just homes and a farm or two, you'll actually find that they're divided into different areas. So this one's like a living quarters, this might be like a little prison room, obviously. And we have carpeted rooms, we have some outside living areas. The loot in here isn't amazing. They're basically normal villager loot, but it's always a nice one to find. And on to the next one. So there's actually quite a few different dungeon variants you're gonna find. But the first one is just an upgraded version of the default vanilla dungeon, and here it is right here. You'll see that there's some structure things holding it up. If we go in here, this can spawn anything. It can be skeletons, spiders, you know, it's basically like the normal dungeon, but a bit renovated. As you can see, there's normal loot. I've got a jukebox even in here, and let's see the next one. As you could probably tell by all the skeletons surrounding me, this is the skeleton variant of the dungeon. And you'll find that there's two floors to this one. You'll usually enter through the top one. The top floor will not have mending books, but it will have quite a few skeletons you have to fight to get to the bottom. If you do make it to the bottom, you'll find these little barrels, and these ones do have much better treasure than your normal dungeon variants. And there's actually a chance for the bottom floor to have a mending book. And that's about it for the skeleton dungeon. Now the next dungeon we're going to look at is the zombie dungeon, also known as the catacombs. It actually has quite a few more rooms than your usual dungeon. But this is the top floor, the top layer, if you will. It also spawned in a really weird place. They usually can be seen from above ground. There's different areas you can go into. Oh, I found one that goes downstairs. And the catacombs are sort of a maze-like dungeon. You'll find many more rooms than any dungeon you've ever encountered. You're gonna have a lot of difficulty getting around and seeing the whole thing. But if you do, you will be rewarded. There are 1 or 2 treasure rooms. Treasure rooms and the top catacombs I just showed you do have a chance to spawn mending books. So anyways, without further ado, on to the next one. Now the 4th and final dungeon variant you'll find is the spider dungeon. These will usually be visible above ground, made of cobblestone like this. And you'll know you find one when you see quite a few cobwebs. Now these are completely different than any other dungeon you've ever seen. If you look around, you'll see that there's actually more wool in different areas with either more spawners or maybe even a chest. If you're on the hunt for a mending book, these guys will unfortunately not have any for you. But you can find some pretty decent loot if you find the right places. Unfortunately, I don't seem to find any chests here, but that's fine because I have dog shit luck. Anyways, on to the next structure. Now what you're currently looking at is actually the brand new desert temples. That's right, we've replaced the desert temples, and they now look like this. Something you may notice is that they're a little bit bigger than the other ones. What you'll notice as we go inside here is that there's actually a different method for entry. If I were in survival, I would be inflicted with mining fatigue, which means I would not be able to mine anything as soon as I enter the structure. There are 3 puzzles around. They are pretty simple. I will not go into the solutions. If you do complete it though, you will find access to get down to the normal dungeon. This is what you might expect when you first enter. If you mine down here, you'll see the normal dungeon loot tables. However, some of you may be surprised to find that on this floor there are other entrances. If you go down these entrances, you'll find long hallways, and I'm not going to go into them or spoil too much about them, but they have some pretty good stuff, including quite a few mending books, probably more than any other structure that you can find, and they have over 50 variants of rooms in each side. Anyways, on to the next structure. What you guys are about to see is probably my favorite redone structure. Are you ready? This is the brand new ocean monument. This thing is massive. I had to turn up my render distance quite a bit to fit it all in one frame. First, I'd like to show you this grand entrance. Now, you might notice that there's a little bit of sponge up here. One big thing that a lot of you might know is that sponge is not the most common block in Minecraft. You can only get it from these, and you get 1 from the Elder Guardian, and then just a couple from sponge rooms throughout the castle. However, this new one has quite a few more sponge rooms with a lot more sponge in them, and there's also some interlaid throughout the castle, just like that one right there. The highlight of the new structure is that you can get tridents. Right here, if you look here, tridents just will naturally spawn in here. If I go into creative, I can pick it up real quick. And as you can see, I got myself a brand new trident. This can spawn down here. It might spawn on one of these walls I've seen. And, you know, bit of an easier way to get tridents, Teak. Now, besides the end room, the structure isn't that different, really. You'll just find different corridors around here. You'll see a lot more use of copper, though. Now, if we go into the top floor, you'll see the brand new main room. This is our friend, the Elder Guardian. As you can see with the texture pack, he's now pixel consistent. And he has quite a few sponges in his room now. You'll see the remains of a conduit here. Anyways, on to the next one. Look familiar? This is the brand new stronghold. It's a huge place with a bunch of interconnected rooms, just like the previous stronghold. The only weird thing about it is it has very weird, unusable loot. This lunchroom barely has any actual food. It's just this weird purple fruit stuff. And what is this? Dragon's breath. I came to the armory for armor, not these weird-ass shulker shells. You'd think the treasure room would have some decent stuff, but it's just full of a whole lot of nothing. I mean, more of that fucking dragon's breath, purple blocks. Cheese? Who needs cheese? Anyways, with that bit out of the way, this is what the portal room looks like, and if you haven't noticed it yet, let me direct your attention to something. This is a dragon head. Every time you find one of these end rooms, you'll actually find different exclusive items in them. You might find the head, you might find the dragon egg, you might find some really interesting things. So, I'd highly encourage you to be the first one to find one of these things. Woohoo! Anyways, thanks for watching. There are going to be a few more structures in the game, as shown on screen right now, that just weren't interesting enough to cover in this video. There's also going to be some polls coming soon about potential new structures for you guys to add in yourselves, so be on the lookout in the polls channel. Anyways, that's it. So long, Gay Bowser. I don't really know how to end this one, so